Before we wander on into the episode, I just want to make sure that everyone goes out there and hits up the YouTube, check out the Spotify, check out Apple, wherever you're listening or watching to this podcast, is to go down, like it, subscribe, hit the bell if it's YouTube. Make sure you're getting those reminders. We do put these out every week. So make sure you do all that. It helps us out. And in the long run, we can make better things. So again, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility?
Insight to our life. But that's all right.
Yeah. No, it makes it feel like I just had this thought. Like, have you seen the Kelsey Brothers podcast?
Oh yeah, it's a good podcast.
Yeah. We're just the like nature weird unfamous side. It's we're the same
Yeah.
thing that they got going. Just we're like national
Different.
parks. We're we're not famous, but it's the same vibe.
We're like that girl that had the wrong Zach, and
Yeah,
you stumble upon our podcast looking for theirs, and you're like, well, it's two dudes talking, I guess.
yeah. And it's a common bad search too.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
looking, you're like, oh, this must be them.
Yeah, Wandering Ways, Travis Kelsey brothers. It rhymes.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone would make that mistake.
Right? No, no. Well, shit, man. You got some time now though, huh? You got some free time. You gonna be getting out and about, or no, you don't got free time now?
I do and I don't. I mean, I'm going to the Olympics next week.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to take my bike and
Yeah.
finally, that part up near like Crescent Lake, that's supposed to be a big bike path. And so the plan
You're
is to
going
get on that path specifically.
nice. That'll be fun. That'll be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
That'll be good for you.
It will be. It will be. But
Yeah. Good.
I
Oh,
saw
I'm
you were with Jared recently. I can't remember where, but
I go everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. No, so where was I? I was in
that and you made that one like weird TikTok thing reel where the two of you are like in the bed is quite interesting, man.
that was their hate trip. They sent me a air mattress, which I got it. They sent me two. Got another one.
Well,
Um,
look at you.
yeah, they're about the size of like what we slept on in Iceland, though. It's like if you would have just thrown that on top of that, you have another pad. And
Oh,
then the
really?
slits in it were kind of interesting because that's for like your phone and stuff, like storage for while you're sleeping. Like in the
Oh, that's
yeah,
actually kind of smart.
yeah. I was like, oh, that makes sense,
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise you end up keeping it like, I mean, we kept it on the little shelf in
right?
Iceland, but then if you don't have that, you keep it like in the front seat or you keep all that shit like weirdly close to you.
Right. Well, because like nowadays, that's your alarm.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
that's true, but that and like
but you're
as
like wallet, like
society,
yeah, you don't
yeah,
need wallet and like keys there either.
no, but they still are. They're always there.
Put them in the shoe or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The shoe's always the common one,
No, what
but
was that? I got back. See, I got back from Wolf Point, or no, from Oregon over Thanksgiving, and I stayed the night with Jared, just the one night. We went to, oh no, we were going to go to Chico, but I actually cut my leg. I got stitches. I was
oh yeah,
using,
you sent me those.
yeah, I was using a box cutter, and it just like slipped. And what was wild was like after the fact, like Tyler picked up the box cutter. He said, like, yeah, I cleaned off the blood, I put it back down. And then like my dad was cleaning up the box, like right there, and there was another blade like in the box. So somewhere along the line, two blades slipped out, and like as I was cutting, and it just was that final cut, and it just whoosh, and it went in, and oh, it was deep, and it hurt, and we're good. The stitches are out. Thea pulled them out Thursday, so we're good.
Nice. You're gonna have a cool scar.
Yeah, a good little story to tell, I guess, for the
Is it on
walk.
the bottom of your foot? I can't remember.
No, it's like top of the foot, right next to the tendons. Like I just barely missed the tendons right there on the top.
Uh, you should get a tattoo scar or a scar tattoo.
Maybe I get one on my finger too. Ooh, I
Yeah.
hate stitches.
I
I
tell
fucking
everyone with
oh
scars to get scar tattoos. If you look them up, they're super cool.
no,
People like
people
can
do it.
use the scar, like they'll have a snake wrap around the scar, or they'll make it like look like a flower or something.
Oh yeah, no, I had an ex that did that. I had one like that.
Yeah, they're super cool. You should get one.
There is. Not maybe not. But no, and then I'm going later this week. I'm actually well, no, I was down with Jared, so and I came back and I went back down because I had to film that video and I thought I'd spend a couple nights hanging out with him. And I had to do run some errands in Billings. So like he's like an hour away from Billings. So I'm like, well, I'll just stay the night here because I don't have a house in Billings no more. But
I forget. Like
in Wolf
you're
Point,
not there. Full
yeah,
time.
but full time now, it sucks. No, I mean it doesn't. It has its perks. Um, but no, and then I'm going to Rapid City later this week on Thursday. Actually, I want to drive down to Rapid City and meet Matt, buddy. We're going to the Lakota Nation Invitational Basketball Tournament.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, globetrotting.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. No, it'll be fun. Matt, we're going to have a Superman. He's a native rapper. He's going to
I've
be.
met him.
Yeah, did you at Oregon State when he came out?
Yeah, I met him when because
Yeah.
Rachel and Matt. So I've
Yeah.
actually met him.
Yeah, you know the guy. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I remember what was it? Rachel was like, he's a great guy, the great guy. The only thing that kind of throws me off is he's got his pinky nail that's really long. And he's got one pinky nail, like the fingernail's really long.
Oh, I don't know if he does anymore.
He did at the time because I remember thinking like that's such an odd thing to fixate on. And then like I saw him and I was like, oh yeah, he does.
Oh, he's like confirmed.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. No, that's great. I think he has a good like anti-drinking, anti-drug message, healthy living, stay active,
Yeah.
which is good. It aligns with our message and he's gonna do anti-vaping. So say no to vapes, everybody. But he he'll be there. Matt will be there. Matt will have a little, he'll be excited. I'm gonna call Matt here actually probably after this call. Um, got to talk to him about some work stuff related to that. So it'll be good. Basically tell him he's Superman's handler.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It's an important job.
Yeah. Just make sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shall we?
I think we shall.
Oh, I don't know. This is weird. I have to like go up here.
Clink. It works.
Link. Yeah, yeah. Uh
You've upgraded since Zoom.
yeah, we have new angle, everybody. So if you haven't, make sure you check out the Spotify or YouTube. You can see the new angle. You can see my good side. This is specific. I chose the good side, not the bad side for the angle.
Oh, I thought you didn't have no
Um,
bad.
no, I don't, but it's like making my good side. But no, we're not here to talk about my new angle or my good looks or lack thereof, whichever it's all preference. We're here to answer listener questions. A popular segment, popular episode, have gotten reviews on it. So we'll see. Another one in the books. I got a couple. Zach says he's got a couple. Um, yeah, what's up? Well, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm about it. I'm about it. Um, Glacier National Park is where this one's themed after. So, kind of, I notice our listeners like to send us questions based on the areas that like we know. Those are also kind of the ones we choose, I think, too, because like the other ones, it's
Yeah.
like, I wish I could help you with the Everglades
Hmm.
one day, but not today. Today, this is kind of a long one. There's five, it's a five-part question.
Oh, okay.
And and this comes from Janelle. My wife or Janelle's the wife, but I don't know why it's written this way. Maybe she copied and pasted it. My wife and I are planning on visiting September 7th through 12th, and this is the Glacier Park in September. I know this is outside of the range of peak season, but we wanted to ask a few things. One, It looks like going to the Sun Road corridor vehicle passes are only required through September 10th. For the 11th and 12th, when we're there, there is simply no vehicle pass required. We can just access this corridor without a pass, question mark. Um, my answer to that, I think, is I think they close. That's typically when they close the road.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I bet that's rough guess, but I also like it's probably not high traffic. It's probably
Right.
not nearly as busy. Um,
Right. You can
because
only
I'm
get a
willing to.
pass.
Well, I forget they put in the rails every year, so maybe
Yeah.
that's when they start taking the rails off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think it's one of those like it's kind of a hard like no, that's when it's shitty because it became the whole season. Where I think during COVID
Yeah,
when they first did it, it was during like yeah, like you said, like the peak season, and then you had like the days it's open. But I want to say
maybe
too,
not though. Maybe they'll still let it just be. It's gonna be slow anyway.
yeah, like and sometimes they do like they open it or like the Beartooth Pass, they'll open it earlier. They just kind of wait till it's like all right, we got too much snow up here, close it down.
Yeah,
So it really depends on the winter because like we haven't had much snow. Like we had the one snowstorm in October and that was it.
yeah, yeah. That's not a lot of snow at all.
No, so I think you should be good if it is open, but I think they do like I want to say they start closing it down there too. Um, don't know that one.
Definitely check before, but if it is just a time like it's open, then yeah, you'd be able to go up without a permit or all that registration.
Right, right. The next question is with it being just past the peak season for rafting, it looks like many stop excursions by September 4th or 5th. Does anyone have any rafting excursion companies that operate during our dates or have any recommendations? There might be some, especially I think if you look more so with the local like fly guides, like to do more of like a guided raft trip versus like a whitewater raft trip. And most of those, yeah, because that's just that seasonal worker. They hire the rafters for this day through this day.
Yeah.
Um, some will be open though, like one or two smaller ones. Always
When
call
when are they planning? Like early September or like mid or late?
the 7th through 12th. So that's a couple days.
So it's kind of early.
Yeah, and I would argue because now you have like the September 11th holiday that like they've created, like kind of a day off that they've
Yeah,
created.
it's a little bit past Labor Day.
Right. Like you do, and with the way the falls are staying warmer, like it's Montana. Call. Like
Yeah.
we went horseback riding one time and we were going to go to Red Lodge to horseback ride, but we actually ended up going north to Roundup because that's where the horses were kept in the winter. But the guy's like, "Oh, if you want to come up here and ride them, like, yeah, I'll take you out." Like the guy who owned them, not even the tour guide down in,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll run the show here." Because he's like, normally my wife's the one who gives the tours in Red Lodge.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I That's what sucks about this question's kind of tough because it's literally past the season. So, you know, I'd say weather dependent for like everything,
Right.
but at the same time, like it could be the best weather they've had all year. Early September can get really nice.
I know, especially with the
So,
animals and like the
yeah,
fall
so
colors.
it's for me, you probably start really researching this like beginning of August.
Oh, and make phone calls to the rafting companies.
Yeah, yeah, that too. I mean,
Are you
because it's kind
open?
of research all throughout August, like check in weekly.
Well, because it's also like my thing too. Like when you're looking to do like those kind of things, just call. Because sometimes it's just a family who runs it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll be around that weekend. I'll do it."
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um, what are some must-do hikes in and around the park? We are fit and athletic, but not interested in any canyoneering.
I mean, the Hidden Lake Lookout, that's an easy one to get off the old, box. That's a good one to do. It's fun. It's easy. Um,
Avalanche will probably be open.
Yeah, Avalanche. If you can get on the east side, Iceberg Lake.
Yeah. Cracker Lake is a
Um,
good one. What's that one?
yeah,
There's
Cracker
one
Lake.
Ptarmigan Pass. You can go Ptarmigan Tunnel. There's a tunnel up there. There's some
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get Highline, that's obvious. Obvious, yeah.
I don't know though. That time of year,
Oh,
I personally, I would want to do Highline end of July, August when we do Highline next. Because maybe this summer, because we won't be having a big. I know, and you're that's like some of your busy time. Maybe the end of July, because it's not as snowy, and then you can actually do Highline.
yeah. I
But the
mean,
Bears in
if
the
you
fall
can,
is what I was
yeah.
saying.
Um, if it, honestly, the best time I think to do Highline, and this is 100% weather dependent, but when it's that spring up there where the wildflowers are like banging, like that would be the best time to go.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Like end of July, because you got
Yeah,
to
but
think
if it's
we.
a warm year, you could get it early July.
Yeah, but you're so. I agree. I agree with you because we've been there both on the fourth and how many times we've gone it right after the fourth. Right? There's either been
Yeah.
snow and no snow. But because like the times we went with Vince and Phil, which was arguably a little bit later after the fourth, not crazy late. It was like the 10th or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but that's what I mean. Like if you could go like July 20th,
Yeah, but when we went that first time back in 2015,
that was like
that was like
August.
that was like August, and I don't remember flowers being that popping.
There just weren't the like, yeah, like the
That's
certain
what I
flowers.
mean.
Yeah,
So it's like it's tough because it's all weather dependent.
it is. And it's the seasons like that, like we heard when we were up at the chalet, the fact
Yeah.
that the flowers, like those yellow flowers, are like this is a big bloom because of the snow that they had
Mhm.
and the way it hung around. Yeah. Must do hikes. Those are some of our favorite. I mean, there's a ton the National Forest has. There's a lot of good National Forest hikes in Montana. So
Yeah.
even just pick a trail and walk down it. You're gonna have a great time, honestly,
Oh,
in
for
this area.
real. For real.
Bear spray. I'm assuming there's shops in and outside of the park that sell and rent them, correct? And am I also right assuming that it is necessary for safety precautions? If you're hiking in the fall, I do think because that's when the bears are stacking up. That's why I said the Highland Trail is
Yeah.
like in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should have the bear spray regardless,
Oh yeah.
just in case. And it's I don't know. What if we had the one when we saw the bear in 2015? It was like if we didn't have bear spray, that would have been a lot dicier. I mean, we didn't, but the other couple did.
Right. We were lucky. We were on a trail that enough people were on that it's like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna carry bear spray because someone here does have it, and they
yeah.
will.
And don't worry, if you don't use it, and you forget to take it out of your bag, there's those dispensers at the Montana airports. You can put your bear spray in close to where you go in for security.
Right. I had bear spray. I still have bear spray in I hang it out by my like outdoor stuff because it's like, well, if I'm going hiking or I'm going hunting, I'm going to take it with me. Because even here in eastern Montana, like they'll bears will walk around the Missouri River. They'll walk down the Yellowstone River, black bears. You'll see them. You know,
Hmm.
bears were a prairie animal at one point, so they'll survive where they can survive. On where they can have a den and have a nice life. And in the fall, yeah, especially if you're in glacier, bear country, get the bear spray. Get it.
Hmm.
Um, Number five, the last of their questions was anything else I should know or anyone would recommend. It is our first visit to the park. We have loved the beauty of the national parks the last few years we started, beginning with Zion and the other national parks in Utah. So,
Quality parks to go to.
right. Visitor
Uh,
centers. I always recommend visitor centers. There's so much they offer. That is your
yeah,
tax
they're cool.
as hard at work.
Yeah, I think visitor centers are pretty cool, and Glacier's got some good ones. I mean, up at Logan's Pass, that one
Yeah.
does the wildflowers, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
I know
So
as you talk about it, it's like I need to look at that. They have the like range of like this blooms from June to August.
yep,
This
yep,
blooms from yeah.
yep, yep. They probably got to update that with global warming.
Right.
So,
Right.
um, but make sure you have a plan. I think because it's such a big park and getting to the each section is difficult because you can't there's
Right.
only one road through, right? So a lot of it's going around the park.
Right.
So, if you're there for enough time and you want to see a lot, plan for being in the car a lot or plan for a lot wherever you're staying. So, but make a
Right.
plan going in.
Yeah, I think that time of the year to the fall because of the shorter days, like they're not that much shorter, but they are shorter than like June and July, where you're not going to get as much of that daylight that where you can go on the east side of Glacier during the day, but you're camping on the west side. Whereas it might be best, yeah, to do like, hey, if you're over here West Glacier, you're doing stuff over here for a couple days, and then you're moving to East Glacier and doing the East Glacier stuff, or however you kind of set up your base in the park. Um,
Yeah.
you're going to get different feels, obviously, everywhere, but this isn't like a Yellowstone in the sense, yeah, where you're going to drive it and see everything. You really kind of just got to spend the time in the pockets and enjoy them. Like if you're going up to Many
Yeah.
Glacier, really go spend 2 3 days in Many Glacier and
Mhm.
then pull out and then go into Two Medicine the next time, and that it's a good way to do the park, I think. I think we've kind of started to do that with our trips. Like, yeah, you'll hit the going to Sun Road and do Hidden Lake hike because it's on your way to that Cracker Lake or that Many Glacier where we're camping.
Yeah, that's oftentimes why we do it. It's more of a stretch the legs kind of hike where you're going, it's our stop, do it, see the lake, check out the visitor center, pop back in the car, head to the spot. Um,
Exactly.
when we do the hidden lake, which is that's why it's one I think we recommended it. But yeah, planning for sure. This was a solid question.
No, I mean Glacier is fun to talk about because it is one of those parks that like you can't just like wing it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever did wing it ever going there, but like it's hard because when you're thrown the like this trail's closed today, what am I going to
Yeah, I'm
do?
trying to think if there was one
They all
that
in
was
a sense kind of have been because we wanted to do
yeah.
Two Medicine and had to do Quartz Lake. We wanted to do the Hidden Lake Trail and we didn't have to, so you have to there's options, but it just changes.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had a plan. It just has never worked out the way we've planned. So we've had
Right,
backups, but
right,
we still planned.
right.
I'm trying to. The only thing I could think of like as truly unplanned type deal is like when we've done drive-throughs of Yellowstone,
Yeah,
where it's like, when was it? When we did your bachelor party, that
right,
first drive-through, kind of unplanned. Even like with Vince and Phil, like Yellowstone was kind of unplanned. Um,
right. There's no
so that's
structure
the
to it.
only one I think we've done unplanned.
Yeah, that's fair. But there are some too that I think well, like the 12 days, 12 parks, like we had plans in each park, but like Rocky Mountain, we didn't.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain, we didn't.
And then
At
kind of show,
Badlands, we didn't.
no, and it kind of shows, but like at Badlands, it's an open hike park. So you can't be like, well, we're going here to here. Like it's
Yeah, we found like the one hike, you know. And
right.
also with that one, like there was a lot of unplanning because we had never been and we didn't do research about anything back then.
No, now we do. You grow
Yeah.
a little bit.
In need of LED lights for your vehicle? Look no further than our friends at Oxteo, keeping our vehicles well lit while on the road while looking for Bigfoot. Make sure to use code RUGARU, RUGARU, on your next set of LED lights. From snakes to bears, the outdoorsman must be prepared. That is why when you experience rivers like the San Juan or the Yellowstone, you must bring a blue ribbon net. Handcrafted and biodegradable, these classic wooden fishing nets are all you need while on the river. Make sure to use code RUGAROO10 when checking out at Blue Ribbon Nets. Again, the code is RUGAROO10. RUGARU10.
Yeah, no. Glacier, super cool. Love it. Great place. But you know what? I mean, it's been 2 weeks. I was gonna say, you know what we haven't done in a while, but technically it's only been 2 weeks. Cool shit in nature.
We haven't done that in a while. That is a while.
I mean, it was the last episode, so like I don't know. I felt like it shouldn't, it's not a while, but it is a while. It's kind of both.
Well,
But anyways,
it's a
I got
while for
two
all of us.
absolute doozies this week here. Um I have been watching. So this is for the people that are just listening. This is a jaguar jumping out of a tree to get a capybara or a caiman.
That's
I believe
wild.
a caiman in this specific. Um, but so there's a new Planet Earth documentary series out right now. It's
Right.
been new episodes every Saturday if the viewers are curious right now. But I've been DVRing it on my sling, and there's a scene with the leopards, and they're getting in trees like stupid heights to where if they miss, like some of them have died high.
Oh
Like
my
they're
gosh.
so hot. Yeah. But this reminded me of it. That's why. And also it's cool to see a big cat like that.
Cats are cool. Oh, this
Yeah.
is cool.
This is cool but sad is what it
Yeah.
is. Uh this is really cool because the contrast of colors. But for the people just listening, this is a river in Russia that's been turned beetroot red after a major incidence of contamination of a mystery pollutant, um, which is super sad that it got to um, this level and it's toxic. But in the winter, with everything white, it does look pretty.
No, it's just interesting and it's sad because yeah, it is like a pollutant, and you're like, well, what's causing that? And I'm sure it's some factory building some stuff for war.
Yeah. Right.
They're
Shit.
not, and they're not focused on their governmental EPA regulations at the time being.
No, they definitely are not thinking about that. But
It's sad to
yeah,
see like that.
it is. You know what one I almost put on for cool shit in nature was the pictures of those snowflakes I sent you today.
Oh, I saw that. That was cool. Those are
Yeah,
baller. It's so crazy, but it makes sense.
yeah. But we're not here to talk about that all day. No, we will continue on with listeners' questions. Hopefully we'll get through them all. The first question we went on for a while.
I know.
Um but my question, this one comes to me. So we are planning a trip in early summer. We're going to be going for 1 week, and we are wondering if that is good enough to see the Pacific Northwest and Yosemite.
A month?
Any tips and tricks are greatly appreciated. No, 1 week.
I mean, you can like you could do. You're just not gonna see everything. Um, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I would. I would. What is your definition of the Pacific Northwest?
See,
Right?
that's where it comes in for me too. Is what's the definition of Pacific Northwest?
Like, if you want to get the vibe and feel, I say stay in Yosemite, then maybe make your way over to like the redwoods, and you
Yes.
get that Pacific Northwest vibe. Or if you're starting in Yosemite and you're driving up, like drive I-5 and hit like Silver Falls State Park, go, maybe pop off Mount Hood, Multnomah, but it's just a big loop.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time. It's like at that point, it's like stay around and go to Sequoia or Kings Canyon instead. Maximize your
Yeah.
week.
I'd have to I agree. A lot of it comes down to definition of Pacific Northwest. Um But for me, I think if you're dead set, have to see the Pacific Northwest and have to see Yosemite, then you have to just do Yosemite and Redwoods because that's going
Yeah.
to be everything you got. But outside that, I don't think I would. I I
No,
wouldn't do them all in the same week. It's
not that
either
kind of
Pacific
combo.
Northwest or Yosemite.
Right. Yeah. It's a weird, but if I guess if you have to do Yosemite day one, day two, you're driving up to the Pacific Northwest, and then you're using that as
Yeah.
5 days to like navigate, oh, I want to see the coast. I want to do this day. I want to go to the, this park or this mountain or see Portland or see Seattle. But really, that's
You're
not enough
losing a
time.
lot of time to travel.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's really the travel time there. Fuck, that's a weird one.
I know. It's such an odd one, but it's one where I see it, and definitely I think this is a helpful one. My guess is this person's from the East Coast, where everything is so close together. And so when you think of it in that terms, you're like,
Right.
oh, I bet we could make it and do all of it in like a week.
Well, and I wonder, I mean, you could, because like when you think about that drive, like we drove from Corvallis, Oregon to San Diego in 15 hours, and people will do that, right? Kind of crazy, kind of insane, but if you're saying, that's what I said, if you're spending a day in Yosemite, you can do it, but like you're really not maximizing your time in Yosemite and those
Oh,
areas or the Pacific Northwest. You're just driving at that point. You're just going on a road
hmm.
trip, which is fine. People like to do that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah, because like even like I think people out or they're from the Midwest in the sense that it's the driving around those hills and those mountains, especially out like the Cascade Mountains, and like it
yeah.
eats up time. It eats up like it took me like 3 hour. It takes you like 3 hours to get from Olympic Park to Seattle, and it's like what, less than fucking 30 miles.
Yeah, that's actually true. It's
You
a
know what
good
I
point.
mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like you go either across on a ferry or around. So there's a lot. There's a lot there. Um, huh. Yeah. Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
Sequoia Kings Canyon. I would dedicate a week to just those.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If Yosemite is my start point, I'm going south. I'm going to Kings Canyon, Sequoia, Death Valley, Um, outside that, I'm doing all Pacific Northwest. I'm doing Olympic, North Cascades, Mount Rainier, um, popping down to the Oregon coast, Silver Falls, that kind of deal, the gorge. And then if I
Right.
have enough time, Crater Lake.
Right. But even then, like, because it's like even then, Crater Lake's off the beaten path. It's not right off the highway. Like you gotta
Yeah,
go
that's
to
why
it.
that's what I mean. That's then
Yeah.
if I have time, it's Crater Lake, or maybe I go to the coast instead.
Right. Right. It really, to me, it's really what you vibe in the Northwest. And speaking of the Northwest, Melanie is looking for hotel Airbnb places to stay, recommendations in the following areas: Olympic National Park, North Cascades National Park, Mount Rainier National Park, Mount St. Helens vicinity, Crater Lake vicinity, somewhere in the middle of the Oregon coast. Thank you so much.
There's a lot there, a lot of different
We could break
places.
it down. Olympic National Park. If you're looking for a town, you can't go wrong with Port Angeles. But me and Matt camped in Forks, and Forks ain't a bad little spot.
No, Force ain't bad.
Um, Coastal spots at Olympic are good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking, stay inside the park. The Soul
Yeah.
Duck area, I think is really cool. So I think that, but Port Angeles, plenty of Airbnb options in that area. I mean, we
There-
stayed in one in Port Angeles.
Right. Well, and then the tribe there at Forks, Matt would know the name.
The
Uh,
Macaw.
is it the Macaw? No, the Macaw are out on the coast further. It's the oh
Oh, well,
Quileutes.
they're Olympic
Quileute.
because they're the most northwestern.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the one right below them, which I can
Oh,
pull
oh,
up
oh,
now.
oh, oh, oh.
Yes, yes, yes. But I can pull it up now on a map real quick. The Quinault Reservation, I believe, is the one we were at. which doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Maybe we were at the macaw. I doubt it.
Also, you
Blue
know, you
you.
can go
Yeah.
down. It's a little bit, it's a little bit off, but if you're exploring the southern part of like Olympic, Aberdeen
Yeah.
would be an okay option for you to stay, which is another bigger esque city. So
Right. But I
I
mean,
mean,
there's
it's
a
not huge,
ton
but
of Airbnbs and cabins like around the park too.
yeah,
Um,
there's plenty of camping.
I liked it. I liked that area. North Cascades, I don't know. Actually, I would just search Airbnb personally if I was going to that area.
Yeah, and I think if you're close to I-5, there's a lot of options, like even in the smaller towns in that area. Um, and, you know, I think it's like Bellingham,
Right.
which is right in that area, which I think is relatively close. Um, I mean, that's
Yeah.
big enough to where you'll have plenty of lodging options where you can drive. You'll have to drive a bit into it, but still, if you're looking for more options, that could be something.
Right. And then like the I-5 corridor, yeah, like you have all those places.
Yeah.
Like Centralia ain't that bad.
No.
There's those casinos too. Some of the tribes have
Mhm.
casinos and resorts, which are really nice to stay at. There was the Quileute was the tribe I was thinking of. Because they said
Oh,
North Cascades, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens. You know, really Airbnb in 2023 isn't the bad way to go. Verbo, one of those options to just kind of book cabins if you're kind of jumping, I think like that is kind of what it looks like.
yeah.
In the bigger areas, like you're saying, like, yeah, if you're going to stay in a Bellingham or Seattle or off I-5 for Crater Lake, like there's going to be more
Yeah.
options.
For even like St. Helens or Crater Lake, I would St. Helens, you're gonna have to find like a cabin, Airbnb a cabin, or camp, one of the two.
Right.
There's just not a lot of bigger areas around St. Helens.
No.
And somewhat similar for Crater Lake. There's not a whole lot around
Right.
it. I mean, there's plenty of camping. Um, so you can find a place to camp. I mean, your next closest cities may be Klamath Falls.
Right. And that's a trek, that's like if you're
Yeah.
waking up early and going. I mean, people do that. That is honestly how people experience some of these national parks is they stay in those towns and go in and out. So if that's kind of what you're doing, that'll work.
I
And then
mean,
the
you could do that for Medford. You can do it in and
right
out a day, Crater Lake. You know, it's just I think you're
lot.
looking at like a 2 hour drive.
Right. You're sacrificing an early morning and late night drive, which some people do. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be in the park and camp. And then lastly, the middle coast of Oregon. I'd say Florence, Newport, or Lincoln City at that if that's your case. One of those three, you're going to get a good hotel. You have the yurts at the state parks on the coast. You have cabins, you have Airbnbs, all the such.
For the coast, make sure you're doing your research because they could really bump price way up depending on where it is. If it's close to the ocean, has the ocean view. I mean,
And the weather.
for hotels and Airbnbs, camping's camping. You'll find cheap camping. Um, but everyone wants that ocean view, you know?
Right. No, and not only that, but like they'll do it because the weather. People run out to the coast when it's 90 degrees in Portland.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. They will.
Yeah.
They will.
Well, you think you can fit one
Uh
more in?
what?
You think you can fit one more in?
I think we can get one more.
Cool.
I mean I got one more, so might as well. If we're a little over time, we're a little over time. Uh, but here it is. Last question coming to us. How long does it take to do Zion and get a good Zion experience?
I mean, we did it in less than what, like a day, and we got a good sign-on experience. But I think I would say 2 days. If you really, I think because it's not that huge of a park. It's kind of the canyons. So if you want to do like the visitor center stuff and then dedicate a day to like a couple hikes, I think that you get the feel.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can do two, maybe three at most. And you have like Zion really down. Um,
And that's from the
you do an
perspective,
Angel's Landing, you do a
right?
Narrows, and then you can find something else that you might enjoy.
And I think that's
That's
from the perspective of like, you know, and understand the park.
yeah,
Like you're not obviously an expert. Like I've done every trail here because they're like, yeah, then you're going to need months.
yeah,
but
yeah.
but like for a good understanding of like if you're going to go back or give recommendations, because you get those people who are like, hey, I hear about this jerky store in Cascade Locks and we should go check it out. And then people go check it out and they're like, okay, cool. I wish I would have known more. You didn't have the full experience. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're like, no, I've actually been here. Not that I've heard about it. It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I agree. To get that area like Zion down, um, 2-3 days, and y- I think I think when you're doing the like any of the Utah five, you know, if you're trying to maximize each park, so not maximize all the parks, but each park that you go in and you maximize the time, I
Mhm.
think each one needs like 2 to 3 days, maybe Canyonlands being or in Capitol Reef needing more than that.
Fair. Because those other ones are long and like just how you would access them. Yeah. It just takes
Oh yeah,
time
Canyonlands, I think you need like 4 or 5 days in
and
reality.
some.
You could spend two in like each little section.
Well, you could honestly that not only that, but like I do think when you get into some of those Utah parks, the canyoneering and actually having experience doing that kind of
Yeah.
stuff would be, I think, optimal.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
I mean, I think you could spend a week in Canyonlands, and I think surprisingly, you could spend a week in Bryce. Because if you get like down into the canyon and like back country esque,
yeah,
I think,
yeah, I think you're over it at a week.
yeah, well, you'll be maxed out for sure.
Yeah.
I think,
Not over it. I don't think you ever get over nature and get over these places, but I just mean like in the sense of like, okay, I can't wait to see a beach, or
yeah.
something like that, kind of the change uh
Hmm.
that it would give you. Yeah, no, I like that one.
Yeah, I do too. I want to do rim to rim and Grand Canyon.
Yeah, we should probably get that one on the books here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know. I have too many of these parks. I say I want to really do that one.
Yeah, you just need money, man. You just need time and money. So,
Time, time. I've done enough of these trips on such like being with
well,
no money that
I
I'm okay.
I get what you mean with that, but I mean money in the sense of like it would be nice to be like, no, I'm doing rim to rim this week, and then I'm going to Zion for a week, and then you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what the money's nice for, is you could go
yeah,
extend these trips.
yeah. That and you can have something other than PB and J's.
Yeah, that would be nice too. Yeah, you can actually
Yeah.
eat at some of those. Like, I would love to really eat at all these like restaurants in each park because, like, there's people in those restaurants that are like, I've been here 30 years because I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
For
you're like,
sure.
I want that person cooking my meal because they love it.
But we got through them all. I didn't think we were after the first one. That was a marathon.
It was.
But we're getting to the time. It's time for our final words. So, final words, my guy.
Everybody get out there, go explore these parks, ask the questions. I think that's the biggest thing in life. If you don't ask the questions, you'll never find out. So if you don't, ask ahead of time or plan for these trips, you're not going to find out. So when you're there, you're going to be surprised, but sometimes you like the surprise. But it's okay. It's okay to plan and to be surprised by the things that you find out after you plan, because there's other surprises that happen along the journey. But I do think having a good idea and a good kind of plan, especially as you go into these places and ask the questions of like, hey, what can I do? What can I be prepared for? It's being smart too. We've like I think of the time we just like, yeah, let's hike up this waterfall thing in Corvallis there or Eugene, outside Eugene. And it, it's cool, but like if we would have had a better plan that day, think of what we would have seen. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. But we still had a good time because it's
Yeah,
also about doing the stuff with people, right? It's like, oh yeah, we had a great time together. That's what made it great is we were all together. We're doing this thing, not just freaking like, oh, I watched it happen. I don't know. That's what I got for you today.
I dig it. I dig it. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Say beautiful, everybody. Can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you for listening all the way through and listening to all the other episodes as well. Um, take three when you're out there, take 3 items home. Minimum take one, but take 3 items home, pick up, and we can do a lot of damage if we all just take three. All the little victories will add up to one big one. So go out there, take three, and start picking up some trash. But yeah, with that being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.